My name ain't Toby. My name is Kunta Kinte. In the iconic movie Roots, the slave Kunta Kinte was forced to go by the European name Toby, and it was literally beat into him until he said it, until he changed his name, Toby. Today I want to talk about, what is your name? What name do you go by? Let's go. Within the African tradition, as I am learning, names have meanings. Names tell a story, at least what the family member or the mother or father or whomever thinks this child is. And I've had the opportunity to be a part of a naming ceremony even when I went to Ghana that last year. And it's a very significant thing. So names matter. Names mean something. So in that movie Roots, when he was forced to go by a European name, it was more than just him calling himself a name, but it was him, in a way, being forced to assimilate to the European culture, to their mindset, to their way of life, and not being able to fully embrace who he is. And as I think about many of my Korean American students, how they have their Korean name, but then they'll have their American names. And many times, as I have been introduced to them, they will give me their American name. And I wondered why they would give me they give me their American name instead of their Korean name. And I speculate, I've never asked, but I believe it's because it's easier for me as an American, as an English speaking person, to learn their English name opposed to their Korean name or their African name or their Indian name. Yet I wonder what happens to them in the process. What happens to us when we have to assimilate to the European model, when African Americans can't go by Bonquisha and Shanae and all these other names that might be meaningful to the person because they won't be able to get a good job. They won't be able to fit in with the European culture. These names, we assimilate our names to become who we think society should be, thinks that we should be. Then I started to think about the names that we call ourselves, not just Myron Chris, but names like stupid, ugly, not good enough, dumb, good for nothing. Depending on your context, these names like Toby has been beaten into you from your culture, from your society. I am an African American male in the United States, and there have been times, and there are times when I can feel less than important, all my degrees and all, but when some white people, see me, all they see is a nigger. All they see is someone who, regardless of how much money I make, how many degrees I have, I'll be nothing more than a dog. But I choose not to embrace the names even given by my church. Names such as sinner and such a worm as I, and these different names that can really wreak havoc on the self-esteem. I choose to call myself handsome. I choose to call myself smart. I choose to call myself more than enough. I choose the name that I go by. No one else chooses for me. And even if they have different names, different negative names that they want to put on me and try to make me carry, and they try to whip it into me and beat it into me, yet what do I call myself? They used to say, it's not what people call you, but what you answer to that matters. Today, I'm just asking you, what name do you call yourself? It might not be a name that you voice to anybody else, but when you are alone, when you are feeling down, when you're being challenged, what are these names that you call yourself? Today, I just want to ask you to think about these names. Where did they come from? What significance did they have for you? Where did you first acquire this name? Who told you that your name was Toby? Who told you that your name was Tammy, even though you're Asian American? Who told you that you had to be someone other than who you are? Who told you you were ugly? Who told you you were not good enough? Who told you this? Whatever it may be. What is the name that you go by today?